Hi, everybody. Maggie here from Out Above and Beyond with Bunny and one of our authors, Anne. Today, we're joining you from our iPhones because we are not live from our homes. We are live from Anne's home, where we just received a beautiful gift of merchandise. Many thanks to What's in a Name, because she made these beautiful gifts for us that has a drinking cup with our logo, with our authentically inclusive as we inspire and empower, and our name, just in case I forget who I am and Bunny forgets who she is, we will not. So thank you so much for this beautiful gift, Anne.
Well deserved.
And for our live today, we just wanted to talk to you a bit about why do you like writing?
Well, first, I didn't know I liked writing until I met Maggie and Bunny, and they shared with me their vision of it above and beyond, and their quest to find everyday authors. And that's when I went, oh, because I was the typical person who thought I'm not good enough. My grammar is not good enough in French or English, but a chapter, I can probably do a chapter. The original idea of my first collaborative book was to a different editing company,
Publisher.
a different publisher. Thank you,
Yeah.
Bunny. A publisher, and it was about grateful. And I saw that I could write a paragraph, that whole book. And I really enjoyed the experience. And then when at Above and Beyond started the publishing company also, I felt, yeah, I can do this, especially being a spirit-based business. I received the call, I guess you can say, the challenge, and I stepped up to the plate, and 4 chapters later, I'm looking forward to the next one. So it is possible, like a journal entry or something you write, and then just let your heart, and something will always come up, and they did.
Thanks,
Okay.
Anne. And as you know, from listening to Bunny and I many times when we talk about this, that's the whole reason that we started Out Above and Beyond, because we believe every story should be told and can be told. You don't have to be a brilliant writer to write your story. You just need help. So we're here to help.
Are you calling us not brilliant writers, Maggie?
No, of course not. We're brilliant writers. We also take any who are not brilliant writers, even though all of ours so far are. What about you, Bunny?
Well, I mean, I really like the fact that Anne is here with us today. This is a core little group that we have here, and she's been a big support for us, of course, and she was one of the first authors, and she continues to believe in us and support us by continuing to be an author with us with every opportunity that we have offered, and that's really great. But not only that, she has included other people in her family as well, having her mother, her niece, and her daughter right with her as well, and her sister-in-law.
Wow.
I forgot about that. I almost forgot about that one, but it keeps growing, and that's amazing too. And Maggie also has had a lot of her family support us as well by writing as well. And you know, I sometimes joke that half of our books are the 2 of their families. So that's good. But it is great support, and it's always welcome. And you know, we do great. We love it, and definitely talking about it right now for you know, the one that's coming up, which is you know, we do have a deadline of February 1st, 2022, but we're not hard and fast on those deadlines. So if there is, you know, an opportunity there and you wanted to write and you're thinking that maybe you're not going to make that February 1st deadline, reach out to us and still ask us, because we do have some wiggle room sometimes with the deadline, so we can definitely do that. And if it comes to money, as Maggie talked about last week, we do have sponsors. We do have people who would want to sponsor someone else. So if there is a, you know, if you can't do it right now because of money, don't let that stop you. Reach out to us. We more than likely will have a sponsor we can match up with you to be able to take care of that. That is something that we wanted to base our whole business on. So anytime Out Above and Beyond has any events or anything that we do, definitely reach out to us if it's a case of money. We don't want that to stop anybody. We don't want that to be a hindrance. So I know that.
Why we're inclusive.
And we're also inclusive because I know a lot of people were talking before about the empowerment of women. And yes, we are the women of At Above and Beyond. And we do have a lot of women, female writers, but we do have some male writers as well. And with me being a mom of 2 sons and Maggie being a mom of 1 son and a daughter, we wanted to make sure that we included men as well. And so that was definitely something that we wanted to do, but we're definitely empowering women in this time as well, because women do need the empowerment, and, you know, becoming writers and having your voice out there is definitely empowering. So.
And I do appreciate that one, because communication and all this, but I have a voice, I have something to say, and I feel worthy of it being included in the At Above and Beyond books.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's worth a value, like it has value, and we definitely see that. I remember for me personally, the reason that I know everybody has a story that's valuable is there was actually a 2020, I think it was one of those kind of things when it was on ABC. And there was a man who used to go and interview people, and he would ask them their stories, and everybody would always go, "Oh, I don't have a story to tell. My life is boring. It's mundane." And he would sit and talk to them and ask them. And as they were talking, he would always find an incredible story. But everybody thinks that they're just ordinary, but we're all extraordinary. And I think that that's definitely what comes out in all of these books.
Right.
So
speaking of our next book is called Forever Changed. And it's stories about grief. That's not just stories about death. That's stories about grief, because there's many different kinds of grief. You could grieve losing a job. You could grieve a lifestyle. You could grieve relationships. You could grieve many things that are not just about death. So there's lots of stories that provide healing about grief that are not to do with dying. And yes, we do want stories about grief that has to do with dying, because part of writing this book, it not only provides healing to the readers who are going to read the book, it provides healing to the person doing the writing. Because sometimes if you can just talk about that grief, whatever kind of grief it is, talking about things helps you process it. Talking about it helps you get it out. That's the same reason that I hold death cafes. I hold death cafes as a death doula, as most people who know me know that that's what I do. I hold those not for any other reason than to get people talking. Because when we talk, we find solutions. When we talk, we find healing. When we share, we find out that there's a lot of wisdom out there in the world. And that's part of the reason that we always want to continue to produce books through At Above and Beyond, because we want the wisdom to be shared, not to be kept in a closet, not to be hidden, but through sharing of wisdom, we heal. So we really want anybody who wants to reach out to us. If you want to write with us, we'd love to have you. And this is just our first 2023 book, and who knows what's coming next. And if this one isn't good for you, wait until you see what the next one is. Maybe that one will be.
we have a lot. There's so many ideas. So there's so many different things. And I know that some of the people we're talking about in 2022, our first book was Mom's Love. And at the time, a lot of people didn't get in on it. They didn't even know about it because, you know, the reach when you're brand new is a little bit smaller. And so they said, "Oh, I wish I could have written for Mom's Love." So I'm pretty sure we're going to have a Mom's Love 2 at some point in our future, where, you know, people are going to want to write about their moms, or about being moms, or not being able to be a mom, whatever the case may be. And what do you have for goals for yourself this year? Do we have anything?
Good question. Good questions. For goals this year, it's really to still discover my potentials, what I have yet to experience as a writer, as a life learner, I guess. So there's many things for me. My goal is to keep trying, is to not to give up. And if a challenge comes up or an opportunity comes up, not to say no, to say yes and trust. That's my word of the year, trust.
And she's really trusting us because we didn't tell her ahead of time.
We did not.
She was our guest today.
Yes. And I wanted to thank her so much for that, for saying yes to us today, for being open and willing to do that. And you should just imagine when the three of us get together, the powerful conversations that we have, the healing conversations that we have, and we're going to continue. Anne will be a future guest again with us for sure. We are going to continue to do this for what it gives us.
Right. And we also want to offer to you to send us your ideas of future podcast ideas, thoughts. If you would like to be a guest, we'd love to have you on, and just come and chat with us every Monday at some point in the afternoon. Maybe at home, maybe out in the community, maybe from wherever. It will always be a surprise what's coming on Monday.
Because we don't even know, and we just say yes.
Oh, come on, buddy. I'm-
We're about authenticity. That's the first part.
Right, we don't.
We don't. And that's fun, actually. That's the fun part of it. It's a little bit scary, but
30
it's fun.
seconds before this conversation, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's true.
So we say goodbye for today. And again, reach out at any time if you want to write with us, if you just want to chat with us. And thank you for listening. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.